Other than solar energy, is there any other renewable resource that the UAE can utilize?
Yeah, so there are some decent wind resources. They're not fantastic, but there's decent wind in further inland and near the higher mountainous areas.
Yeah.
The problem with that is that generally it's far from the grid, so you really need to source. You need to have these. You're better off having renewable energy production areas closer to the grid because it's much cheaper, right? So wind is one. I would also say that there are some innovative biofuel opportunities, and I know that Masdar Institute is working on some biofuel opportunities. And then the sort of less, not really considered one of the core renewable energies, but there's also waste to energy, and so that is essentially incinerating or burning garbage to create heat, much like you would use with
natural gas and
coal, let's say, or natural gas, right? That's not considered generally one of the core renewables, but still, that's if done cleanly and efficiently, with little effluent waste and emissions, it actually is a fairly sustainable solution.
Okay, and what are the future goals that the IRENA has set for themselves?
So, in the near term, we will be more heavily engaging in the sort of run up to trying to achieve a global agreement on climate. There is we're not involved in the negotiating framework, but 2015 is looking to be a big year in the international community in terms of climate. I would also suggest that we are actively involved with scaling up renewables on islands, because island countries around the world are really seeing that renewables are the cheapest source of energy, new power production than anything else.
Yeah.
So our job is to help them understand their resources, help attract financing so they can begin to pay for these projects, and spread the word for energy on islands. And I would say one other substantial goal we have, there's a project that we're working on called the Africa Clean Energy Corridor. And the idea behind this is to, help create a backbone of grids and renewable energy hotspots from Cairo to the Cape, and basically link all of these together into a single unified grid that would really create much more opportunities for renewable energy in all of these different countries, right? So Africa is at a point now where it's seeing tremendous economic growth. And if they go the route of coal, then we are going to be locked into a situation where we will see, further health and climate impacts. Whereas if they can lock into a future of clean and sustainable energy, wind, solar, geothermal, sustainable biomass, that they can actually pave the way to low-carbon economic growth while creating jobs and without necessarily having a detrimental impact on the environment. So we're working on that, and that's a substantial undertaking. We won't be building it. We need the countries really to really take it on themselves and get behind it. And then we have lots of buy-in from the countries themselves, but it's still at its early stages. But we see this as a truly transformational opportunity.
Okay. Do you have any projects in the Mediterranean area?
Do we have any projects in the Mediterranean area? We were recently in Cyprus for an event similar to the islands thing that I was discussing with you. There's also opportunity for renewables and tourism. So we held an event there with the government of Cyprus to help promote renewables amongst hotels. And that's one sort of thing that we did there. You know, there's really an awesome opportunity in North Africa. There's really tremendous solar and wind potential, and so we're continuing to work very closely with the governments in around the Mediterranean to help them scale up, whether it's in capacity building efforts or it's in we do renewables readiness assessments for countries to help them realize their own potential. So I would say that at this point, that's our involvement with Mediterranean.
And anything about the areas near the Indian Ocean, subcontinent, other Gulf countries?
Yeah. So in the India is an interesting case because India is seeing, much like China, much like Africa to a lesser degree, but India is much further along in the development curve. But they suffer from issue of brownouts and blackouts and power shortages. So there's a real demand shortfall. So India is looking to invest a tremendous amount of money in renewables in the coming future. And so we are eager to see that come online. I think it's a very hopeful situation, I think, in India. Indian Ocean, I think we're seeing, we work in just like the islands example I gave you in the Pacific. There's also Seychelles and Maldives have also really begun to understand the potential and the transformational potential of renewables, thanks in part to some of our work helping these parts of the world seize funding opportunities and understand costs.